Jack Terrence. In 2007, the stepson of Mr. Terrence came forward with a big lead. He had found the costume the Zodiac Killer was wearing during the Berryessa attack and murder. Now this is better than the piece of wood the casebreakers used in their Gary Post evidence. Just like last time, there was a link between the handwriting of Terrence and the killer. This is the time to bring up the idea of handwriting as evidence. While it's not as definitive as DNA, it is massively underestimated as a forensic tool. See, if the Zodiac Killer starts his letter S at the bottom and makes his way to the top, that's an unusual trait that not many people will do. If Harvey Colliver also writes this way, while also sharing numerous other coincidences with the Zodiac, then being the same person would eventually become common sense. Handwriting exposes key numerological features and characteristics of someone's brain function, which is unique from person to person, especially when how someone writes eventually becomes instinctual movement patterns that they can't control. Now, Terrence does fit the Zodiac appearance much better than some of the other popular suspects, like Arthur Allen, Sullivan, or even Post. However, shouldn't it be a red flag if someone matches too well? The reason Colliver is the Zodiac is that he is the combination of every described physical trait, but he isn't a perfect match, because the main sketches and witness perspectives were flawed and incomplete. If someone like Terry matches 100% perfectly, then that can be taken as proof that the accuser was simply just picking someone who resembles the sketches, and there's no thought put into the claim. This is where positives come to a sudden stop. The hood worn by the Zodiac was not a paper bag shape as many people think, but it was just a plain executioner-style hood. The hood shown off by Dennis is too circular. The Zodiac/mathematical symbol is too big. The eye holes are very wrong, and it's just overall too neat. The next problem is the handwriting. Now, sadly, Dennis has passed away, but the handwriting guy apparently took over as the main proponent of this theory. Is it just the evidence room that thinks this? Or does there seem to be some kind of emotional connection here? If there was, that could mean that this handwriting guy was already a bit persuaded to agree with Dennis and approve the handwriting as a match. There was tons of falsified evidence, and it was all egregious and exploitative. Notice how all this came out right near when the 2007 movie released and was being promoted. Dennis, as far as I'm aware, didn't intend to make a book about this like Gary Stewart would do later while following in Dennis's footsteps. So I believe Dennis was primarily or fully motivated by attention and a want to be involved in a big Hollywood release. I do have to say, however, that I wasn't nearly as outraged by this suspect as I initially thought. It was still terrible, but I kind of regret calling him the worst POI now.